everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a favorites video. First of all, I need to apologize. I have not done a favorites video since July. What? My favorites this month, you guys, are A+, plus. All these products are products that have very much so infiltrated my everyday routine. And not only am I going to be chatting with you guys all about all of these products, but I'm also going to be applying them on my face. I also just want to take a really quick moment because today is a pretty special day. Today is actually my 7th year anniversary on YouTube. And this isn't just my anniversary, it's our anniversary, as cheesy as that sounds. It's true. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you guys. So happy 7 years to you and to everybody who decided to join me on this journey. I honestly cannot believe it's been 7 years that I've been doing this. It's so insane how quickly time goes by and how many things have changed also since the beginning. Anyways, I just really wanted to put that out there because how could I not acknowledge that? It's a pretty big deal. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's get into the tutorial. So we're gonna jump right into a facial mist that I've been loving using before applying my makeup. This is not new at all. I've been talking about this. It feels like a little bit to a point of overkill, but it's such a good product and I cannot emphasize it enough. It is the Youth to the People Adaptogen Soothe and Hydrate Activated Mist. So this is essentially just a really hydrating mist. If you have dry skin, you would probably absolutely love this, as I do. This does have hyaluronic acid in it, and I kind of like to compare this to a serum, but in a mist form. But this is just like a way quicker way of applying it. And what I also really like about this product is that I could spray it on my face throughout the day, and it does a really good job of kind of just like refreshing my skin, making everything look like one again, and it just keeps my skin from looking dry throughout the day, especially obviously with like the drier winter weather. So I'm just gonna spray a few spritzes all over my face. Now, February was definitely a month of base products for me. I got really into concealers especially. I actually have 3 concealers that I've consistently been using throughout the entire month that I've been really loving, and I actually also have 2 foundations. So the 2 foundations that I've been kind of switching between throughout the month are these 2 guys over here, the Cover FX Natural Finish Oil-Free Foundation, and then the Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. The Shiseido foundation is brand new in my collection. I actually bought this probably like in the middle of the month, and ever since buying it, I've been using it pretty much every single day. And then the first half of the month, I was using the Cover FX one, which isn't new in my collection. I've actually had this for a while, but I was kind of shopping my stash, which is something that I like to do every once in a while, just to kind of get use out of older products that maybe I kind of forgot about, this being one of those older products. And I kind of can't believe that at any point I stopped using this product, because it is such a good, I feel like, to be very underrated foundation. I feel like not a lot of people talk about this. So this is called the Natural Finish Foundation, and I feel like it's called that for a good reason, because it has such a beautiful skin-like finish, which is why I just love it so much. I feel like this is foundation that really just blends and meshes and melts onto the skin. It does not look heavy at all, and it has amazing coverage. So yeah, if you're looking for a really good, just natural looking foundation all around, natural in the finish and the way that it looks on the skin, but that also gives you some really good coverage, this is fantastic. So the second foundation that I've been really enjoying, and this is the one that I'm going to be applying today, like I said, it's the Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. Okay, I'm gonna go online and kind of see what the description of this product is, because I still don't understand why this is called the self-refreshing foundation. So it says online that this foundation has a technology that protects the finish from the effects of sweat, oil, and facial movement, and it also adapts to skin's condition, tone, and texture for truer illumination. Okay, I really couldn't tell you if this foundation actually like adapts to the skin. I mean, there's no way for me to tell. I feel like that's pretty kind of ambiguous. Like I don't know how you could even measure that. All I know is that it works really well for me. It kind of feels like it's the perfect fit for my skin and my skin type. And so maybe that's just a sign that it is doing that. I really don't know. So to apply the foundation, I'm gonna take my Smith 157. This is actually another one of my favorites of the month. I find that this has been a foundation brush that I've been really gravitating towards because it is a natural hair brush. I find that it kind of soaks up the right amount of foundation to just give you a really natural look. I also just really like the way it blends. I like the size and the shape. I feel like it just works well around the face. Okay, so you really don't need a lot of this product to get some good coverage. As you can see, I put way too much on the back of my hand, and I already put a pretty thin layer all over my face, but all of my redness is already covered, which is amazing. I'm just gonna pick up a little bit more and just put some on my forehead. Do you guys ever completely forget to apply foundation to your forehead? Because I've done that more times than I like to admit. And you guys are able to see how quickly that blended out, how good that coverage is. I mean, none of my redness is peeking through. I don't feel like I need to build it up anywhere. And that's why this has been my favorite current like everyday foundation, because I need such a small amount of product and I get such a gorgeous, flawless look, but it's still so weightless. A lot of you guys were actually asking me whether or not I preferred this guy to the Makeup Forever Reboot Foundation, and I definitely prefer the Shiseido. The Reboot Foundation is really good for Makeup Forever. I do really like it, but I've been going towards this a little bit more. I just kind of like the finish a little bit more, and I like the way it wears. So because we're kind of on the topic of brushes, I wanted to highlight a couple more Smith brushes that I've been really loving throughout the month. So besides the 157, I've also been really loving these three guys. So the first one is the 103, and I've been loving this for concealer. It's pretty much just like a long, flat, natural haired brush. I find similar to this guy because it is like the same type of bristles. This just really like airbrushes the product into the skin so nicely. And because it is a little bit bigger too, it's really quick to blend out. So I've been loving that. This guy has also been really great. It's the 104, and it's kind of like an angled, very fluffy and loose powder brush. So I actually love to use this for my under eye powder. When you use this with powder, it applies such like a delicate and soft amount to the skin because it is so wispy and flimsy almost. So you're able to get a really nice, very lightweight application of powder, which is so ideal, especially for the under eyes. It also actually works really great for contour because it does have that nice angle for like a nice, soft, diffuse contour. The last brush that I wanted to mention is the 302, which looks like this. This is an eye brush, and I actually unexpectedly really fell in love with this brush. I didn't think it was really anything too crazy special until I actually used it. I find that it's just like the perfect shape for applying and kind of like blending and smoking out product on the under eye. I'll show you guys in use when I start doing my eye makeup. Okay, let's move on now to concealers. I know there's a lot of concealers here. You're probably like, Jamie, how do you even have time to use this many concealers in a month? It's my job, okay? It's what I'm supposed to be doing. It's testing out products for you guys. So let's start off first with the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer. This is my current favorite full coverage concealer. I've been using this when I do more of like my going out looks, when I'm doing more of like a full glam. I've been loving this for underneath my eyes and around my face. I just find that it covers up everything and it doesn't move, and it also doesn't look super heavy. So I love it for that, but I also really love this concealer for like my no foundation days. So I will use this concealer underneath my eyes and on a few key areas around my face where I get a little bit red, and I'll blend it out. And I find because of the coverage of this, it almost makes it look like I'm wearing a foundation even when I'm not. Then I have my Ilia True Skin Serum Concealer. I've spoken about this already. It's such a good, lightweight, easy to wear, like everyday type of concealer. This is definitely less coverage than the Dior one. I also actually really like the finish of this concealer, believe it or not. This is like a serum concealer, so it's quite hydrating, and I find underneath the eyes it kind of gives a bit of like a hydrated, I just drank a lot of water type of look. And then kind of like my in-between concealer, which I've been really liking. This is probably the newest one in my life, but I felt like I really had to mention it in today's video. This is the new Hourglass Vanish Concealer. This is really like the in-between between those two concealers. It's not quite as like heavy and full coverage as the Dior one, and it's also not quite as like lightweight and serum like the Ilia one. This has very slowly started to replace the Ilia True Skin concealer just a little bit. Like I have been wearing this more so on an everyday basis, and I just love the finish, love like the coverage that it gives. So I'm gonna just go ahead and apply this one underneath my eyes so you guys can see how it looks. And I'm actually gonna use my Smith 103 so you guys can see how I like to apply it. So you can see with this brush, because it's like really nice and fluffy, I find it just does a really good job of kind of also bringing the concealer down a little bit and really like meshing it really well with the foundation. So I always go in with my brush, and then I'll just go in with a clean finger and just tap over, and I find the warmth of my finger will just really help melt the foundation, or the concealer, sorry, into the skin. Okay, so now to highlight, I'm just gonna take my Ilia, and I use the shade Suma, which isn't so much of a highlighting shade, honestly. It's a little bit dark to highlight. Like it's kind of my exact skin tone. This is another concealer though that I really just love the shade of. I feel like it's just a really good neutral shade. Okay, to set my under eyes, I'm just taking a little bit of my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. This isn't a favorite of the month or anything. I just need something to set my under eyes, and it's the closest thing I have here. So I'm taking that Smith brush that I spoke about and just gently sweeping on that powder. I'm also just gonna kind of dust whatever's left over on the center of my face. I don't really have a favorite bronzer this month, so I'm just gonna quickly bronze my face so I can talk about my blush and highlighter that I've been loving. So I'm just gonna take this Bobbi Brown bronzer in the shade Golden Light and just bronze up my face as I normally would. So for blush, every part of my being wants to talk about the MAC So Natural blush, I think it's called, from the new Glow Play line. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a break because I've spoken about that blush so much over the last like month or so. There are other blushes that I've been using and you guys already know that I love it, so I didn't want to like be too redundant. I feel like lately I've been really rediscovering a lot of MAC products. Peaches is one of them. It's kind of like a deep corally peach, and what I really like about this blush is I find it gives me a sun-kissed look without me being anywhere near the sun. So I'm just gonna pick up quite a bit of this. I've been going pretty ham with my blush lately. I was never like such a huge blush person, but lately I've been really enjoying like really blushy looks. Especially when it's minimal everywhere else. I just think it looks so fresh and pretty. And it's really nice for spring, even though we're not even close to spring. At least that's what it feels like. Moving on to my highlighter. I have fallen back in love with my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Beauty Light Wand. This is a gorgeous liquid highlighter. It literally makes it look like you have glass skin when you wear this. My one gripe with this product is the packaging. It's so disgusting. I mean, these sponge applicators are truly the worst. So I always like to pick it up with my finger and just dot it where I want it. And then just blend it out. After much consideration, I think this is probably one of my all-time favorite highlighters. I just find it looks so kind of like natural and very glass skin-like. It doesn't look like I just applied a highlighter on top of my cheekbones. And what's different from something like this to like the RMS Living Luminizer, this makes your skin look wet. This product though is very emollient, like it's sticky. Like if you put this on your cheekbones and you go in to hug somebody, their hair will get stuck in your highlighter, which really just isn't my favorite. But what's so nice about this product is that it actually dries down. And a lot of the times with liquid and cream highlighters, that doesn't happen, which can get a little bit tricky. But this, it's just perfect. So before I go in to apply any of my eye makeup, I'm gonna go in with another favorite of mine. This is another mist that I've been really enjoying. It's a Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Ultra Fine Mist. This is supposed to be hydrating and it's supposed to give you a glowing radiance to your skin. I find this is kind of similar-ish to the Youth to the People mist, but it's also not. I feel like this product definitely gives more of like an actual glow to the skin, whereas the Youth to the People mist is more of like a skincare product. Also, a little bonus, the packaging is really cute, and the mist on this, are you ready for some mist porn? Because it's fantastic. Should we do that again, but like in slow motion? Oh yeah. So I really haven't been super into eyeshadow this month, but with the eyeshadow looks that I have been wearing, it's been with this palette from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Pillow Talk Instant Eye Palette. Now, in my past, I may or may not have spoken a little bit of shit, just a little bit, about Charlotte Tilbury palettes. I've said quite a few times that I just don't feel like her quads are totally worth it. And I still kind of stand behind that. There are some of her quads that I think are really great that I actually kind of use every once in a while, but I find that her palettes are actually quite beautiful. And this one in particular is such a great little neutral palette, especially if you're into pink tones. So these are technically separated in like sets of 3. So if you are not really sure what to pair with what, even though I feel like this is a pretty like easy to use palette, you can just kind of stay within a specific category. So I'm first going to prime my lids. You know what? I'll actually take my Dior Forever concealer because I have been enjoying this as an eyeshadow primer. I kind of want to do this like dusty purple situation over here. So I'm going to go into this guy from the Day Trio, the matte purpley pink, and just pop that above my crease. Nice change up from the brown transition shade. And I'm using the Smith 232. I find these particular Charlotte Tilbury shadows to be very pigmented and to just work really easily and blend really, really well. Okay, now I'm gonna go into the middle shade in the Date Trio, which is this matte brown, and just put this on the outer corner of the eye. Then I'm gonna go into a more precise little blending brush. This is my Sigma E42, and I'm gonna go into this shade, which is one of my favorite shades in the palette. It's kind of like this purpley pinky brown. It's a really nice brown. And again, just putting that right on the outer corner of the eye. Taking that Sigma 302, picking up that same color, and picking it up on like both sides of the brush. And I'm taking the brush and I'm just putting it straight onto my eye to initially apply it. And it applies very precisely and easily because of the shape. And then I'm gonna turn the brush kind of on its side and just run it along that lower lash line to smudge it out a little bit. So now for my lid, I'm gonna go into this like pinky metallic shade. I love this color. And I'm just gonna apply that with my finger. This is a really pretty kind of like rose gold. So there you have it. That is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk palette. It's fantastic. Now I'm going to take my favorite current inner corner highlight, which is this guy. This is the By Terry, By Terry Ombre Black Star in the shade number 3 Blonde Opal. This is pretty much just like a champagne cream eyeshadow, but it's so reflective and so gorgeous and just really glossy. Like, look at that. Oh, it's so nice. Honestly, even applying this on the tops of cheekbones would be stunning, but I feel like you would go through this a little bit too quickly. And also applying it all over the lid is a really gorgeous, just like no eyeshadow type of look. But as an inner corner highlight, it's been my favorite. So I'm just popping it right there. So nice. Also my brow bone. Because it is a cream, you kind of got to blend it a little bit. So I'm going to just actually use my pinky and just kind of smooth over it. And it's gonna blend it out really nicely. So I'm gonna be applying this eyeliner from NARS. This is the High Pigment Longwear Eyeliner in the shade Rue Bonaparte. I honestly would even really say that I've been loving this particular formula like so much. It's really good. I do find it lasts really well, but I think I've just more so been loving having nude in my waterline. I've kind of jumped back on that train. I left it for a little bit, but I'm coming right back. So I wouldn't really say that you absolutely have to get this one if you want to get a similar look. There's so many great nude eyeliners, especially from the drugstore. The Rimmel one and the Annabelle one I actually really like. I'll link both of those down below. So this over here is the Marc Jacobs Velvet Primer. I have been really liking this because I actually find that it makes a big difference in the way some of my mascaras wear. I've actually been layering this with my Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir Mascara, which, as you guys know, I really like the way that mascara makes my lashes look, but I hate the way it wears on me. I find it smudges in like 3 seconds and I get raccoon eyes within like minutes. But when I layer this primer underneath the Velvet Noir Mascara, it actually stops it from smudging. So it's pretty much just like nude color that you apply before your mascara. You let it dry for like a couple seconds and then you apply your mascara on top. And like I said, I feel like it makes some of my mascaras a little bit more smudge proof, a little bit more long lasting. And it also makes some of my mascaras look a little bit more like intense and voluminous as well. If you can get a sample of this, I feel like that's the best way to try this out. I don't really have a special like actual mascara favorite of the month, so I figured why not just try something new with you guys. This is a mascara that I've been intrigued about. I've had in my collection for a bit, but I haven't had a chance to try it yet. This is the Dior Show Plump and Volume Mascara. Sorry, Pump and Volume. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this to my upper lashes. Ooh, this is very voluminous. As I'm putting on my mascara, I honestly can't stop looking at my skin. I just feel like my skin is looking so freaking good from this foundation. I can't get over it, guys. Okay, don't really know how I feel about this mascara. It definitely made my lashes look really voluminous, but like they're uber clumpy. Not my absolute favorite, but whatever, it's okay. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly do my brows off camera and then I'll be back to finish this look off with the lip. So my favorite lip product of the month, this is another kind of newer product for me that I kind of discovered more so at the end of the month, but I've been wearing it every single day, so I felt like I had every right to mention it as a monthly favorite. This is the new Kosas Wet Lip Oil in the shade Dip. Okay, I'm just gonna apply this so you guys can see what it looks like and then we'll talk. Hey, my lips are so crusty. This is what the product looks like. I feel like I don't even really need to say much because it really speaks for itself. It is so gorgeous. This is like the most perfect everyday lip product. I actually find this to be somewhat similar to the Fenty Gloss Bomb, especially in shade. To the original one, I feel like it has that similar kind of rosy hue to it, which is very pretty, but the texture is definitely very different. And I prefer this one over the Fenty Gloss Bomb, believe it or not. I find because this is more of like a lip oil, it feels super moisturizing and very like, it's a very smooth and slick formula. So when you rub your lips together, it just feels so nice. Like it does not have any stickiness to it whatsoever. It also has like the littlest, tiniest little bit of shimmer in here, but the shimmer is so barely even noticeable that it doesn't even look shimmery on the lips, but it instead makes your lips just look even more like dimensional and juicy because of that little bit of shimmer. All right, we are done. Here are all of my favorites on my face. I'm actually very happy that we did this favorites as like a try on because I feel like it was really important for you guys to see how these products perform, and especially with the skin products. I mean, come on. All right, guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know all of your thoughts down below as per usual. Hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.